Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. What can I say about Shadow of the Colossus that has not been said before by countless other people? I guess I can just share with you my thoughts on this game, this classic game that came out on PlayStation 2 originally. And it was more or less remade or got a new lick of paint for PlayStation 3. But in 2018, I think it's called Blue Point Studio, sort of recreated the whole thing or built it from the ground up, a actual remake. And I have to say, it brings me back to the time when I first played it, and I guess the mystique around this game, the minimalistic story of a boy who brings his loved one to this temple and asks the deity there to resurrect her, and in return he has to seek out the colossi that are hidden in the world. And what a world that is. I mean, it's a vast open world that's not littered with icons and things to do, but one that has a mystique and a loneliness to it that's really fitting the story. You do get a sense of urgency, but also emptiness, and you really wonder why the boy wants the girl to be resurrected and why he wants to do anything to do that. And it's a world that I have not seen before in other games, and maybe in games like Ico and The Lost Guardian, also games by the original developer of Shadow of the Colossus, Team Ico. They seem to share the same sort of universe. You can definitely tell that there are similarities there, but I'm not hugely knowledgeable on the lore on all these games, but it seems that they share that sort of universe with towering cliffs and vast deserts and rolling hills and giant forests and ancient ruins, and it's just a sense of scale that make these games so memorable. It is the heights and the depths, and you cross this world seamlessly with your horse, and you really feel very tiny in this world. It really gives you that feeling of dread in a way. And every Colossus is amazing. It's fantastically designed and also super intimidating. But also for some reason you feel kind of sorry for them. Not sure why, but they seem to be ancient giants or something that you need to kill. And every fight is a David and Goliath situation. And at the beginning you have no idea how to best that particular Colossus because they differ so much, and each and every one has a different approach. And it's all about finding out how to kill them, so that they require different strategies to beat, but usually you need to scale them or jump on them or grab on them. But you have this limited stamina bar that runs out, so every so often you need to take a breather. So there is the element of stress really involved here. And the gameplay loop is very effective because of that, and it's just very fun and at times a little bit frustrating as well. But the sense of accomplishment and satisfaction when you at last can grab the fur on the hand of this giant, and you make your way to its arms and shoulders while it tries to shake you off, and you work your way to its head and you plunge your sword into the area that has that particular symbol and that bluish glow that you need to hack into is just unparalleled. This game does not need RPG elements, nor does it need an upgrade system, perks, abilities, and whatnot. It is enough that you just fight these giants. And the underlying orchestral soundtrack is outer-worldly beautiful and really fitting in the whole package. Are there things I didn't like? Yeah, sure. The sword dynamic where you point it in the air and the light shines in a certain direction that you need to go is somewhat cumbersome, especially when you took a wrong turn earlier. It's hard to then find your way, so there's a lot of downtime as you cross this world, but still, it's still very impressive. and there's no hand holding, so you can't really complain about that mechanic, that sort of directional mechanic. Controls are something to get used to, and they still are in the remake. I mean, the horse controls are a bit iffy, but it does add to that sense that this is a real animal and not just some car that you drive. So it's not easy to ride a horse, and it can easily stop in its tracks when you come across an obstacle. But, you know, you can't deny a little bit of frustration because it's a horse. Now, other than that, the general controls of the character are all right, although a little bit to the slippery side of things. And the same can be said for the controls in Ico and also in The Last Guardian. They're all a bit slippy and cumbersome. Again, it's something you need to get used to. I think the controls did have a little bit of tweaking for the remake, but that loosiness of the controls, for lack of another word, does add to the feeling that you need to work your way on this Colossus 2 to really best it. And the camera. The camera does prefer a cinematic point of view rather than giving you an optimal angle or a helpful angle from a gameplay point of view. And the Colossi are just so large that they just don't fit on your screen. Sometimes you just lose yourself in the mayhem that's going on. Overall, it is a classic. It stays a classic, but it's not a perfect game. It aged well, and I think that the remake really is something everybody should play, whether or not you're a new gamer or an old gamer and you haven't played it before. It is a classic. It stays that way, I must say, and I'm really looking forward to what Team Ico is going to do next. So thanks guys for watching, and let me know what you think about Shadow of the Colossus.